gonna see if this is gonna work today. It fell off yesterday. I've got my little backup over here in case it decides to get a little crazy. We've got a bit of a further travel today. Let me know if the audio is okay as well. I don't have my headset on. There'll be a little bit of noise. Simba, hi Bernicia, so great to see you. Welcome, Simba. There's going to be a little wind because I'm going to need a little bit of a breeze. Good morning. Bob, hi. Welcome in, Bob. I'm so glad to see you. Is that a little better? Welcome in, everybody. Well, I'm sure by now everybody has heard the news about Charlie Kirk. It's not better? Uh-oh. Hold up. I've got my good headset with me. Y'all let me know. Is it better with the headset on? Because I consistently get told no. But if it's better, then I can keep the headset on. God bless you as well, Kingdom Kid. Thank you as always for stopping in. It's always a pleasure to see you. Here we are waiting to get out. Well, you know what? We can make it. Alright. Oh, that's nothing. YouTube. You think YouTube was bad? It was all over TikTok. I mean, zoomed in, slowed down, as if his family wasn't traumatized enough. The fact that they got to see all that shit all over the internet. And don't even get me started on these absolutely fucked individuals. The liberals that are all over the internet, just like they did after Donald Trump's attempted assassination, that are celebrating. You know, putting all this, like, woo-woo music and, like, you know, stupid shit. I'm like, this is exactly why we are divided, right? This is fucking why. It's not because we have a difference of opinion, because that's what America was founded on, is people being different and being able to have different opinions and beliefs, right? The problem is, there's one party in our country that's actually radical, that's sick in the fucking head. There's only one party when someone gets shot that is all over social media celebrating like a bunch of fucking savages, right? There's only one party that's doing that, and it's not the quote-unquote radical Republicans or conservatives. It's not that, right? Good morning, Dirty Strawberry. Morning, Justin. So glad to see you. So incredibly fucked, and it makes me so angry. Like, I can't. Woo! I can't. I'm like, this is exactly the problem with the hypocritical left, right? This is exactly the issue, is they'll call us radicals, and I say us, I'm more of a conservative than a liberal, but I'm really a libertarian. So I really don't identify with either party 100%, just more so with conservatives, and gee, I wonder why. Here we have Charlie Kirk, who, his crime against humanity, according to the left, was literally going to college campuses, speaking to the youth, giving the other side not only a chance to speak their mind, but in fact priority. If you've ever seen Charlie Kirk debate in person, or you've seen his videos online, what did he always say? If you have a disagreement, go to the front of the line, right? He wanted everyone to be heard. He wanted to give people a chance to change his mind, although none of them were able to do it. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because they're savages and they have no moral or ethical or faithful points to make at all that any of us should take seriously. That could be why. Just, you know, throwing it out there. Or it could be that they're absolutely heartless savages. I mean, who... I just can't. I feel all sorts of ways. I was in tears for hours last night, off and on, seeing all this going between, like, anger and the most heartfelt sadness imagining what his wife and his poor children are going to be going through, to like seeing really heartfelt memoriams, tributes, whatever you want to say, from people like Benny Johnson. I saw probably 30 people who shouted him out, all the conservatives, even a few of the more liberal-leaning pundits. I just can't. I really just can't. Hey, Ron, God bless. So glad to see you. Right. All the way fucked up, agreed. He was a great dude. I know. And imagine, like, and now, great job to the liberals who think you really just did something here, because what you've actually done is make him a martyr forever. Now his message will never die. Now there is absolutely no way any of you can squash anything he ever had to say. You've just proven every point he ever made about how terrible you are, and in that split second made damn sure that his memory and his legacy will never die. So I don't know what you think you accomplished, but I'm going to tell you what you definitely accomplished, right? See, for a long time, conservatives have been dust, right? At least by action, right? For a long time, we put up with a lot of shit. All these fucking trannies going into our schools, shooting up our fucking kids, right? All these fucking blue-haired pussies want to get on the fucking internet, Al Gore's fucking internet, and talk about how they're going to do this and going to do that, and I dare you to meet me in the bathroom. Bitch, I dare you to meet me in a bathroom today. Because I know I feel like every one of my conservative friends right now. I'm fucking done. I'm over it. There's no more grace. There's no more platitudes. There's no more heart for any of you fucking savages. None of you. I'm done. There's no more left in me. We have... Exactly. You're with me, strawberries. Right. And that's how all of us are feeling right now. Because, see, here's the thing. Is that people don't seem to understand. These liberals, don't seem to understand. You guys... You really are waking up a sleeping giant here, right? Because us conservatives, libertarians, anybody that's not on the radical left, basically, for a long, long time, have done shit the right way, like Charlie Kirk did. We've used our voices, right? Our opinions, our reach, whether it be on social media or in our personal communities. We've used our correct means to try and sway others, save other people's souls, is as seriously as a lot of us take it, right? And we haven't fed into all the propaganda. We haven't met you at the low, low bar you've set. We haven't met you at that level, right? I can tell you how you can very quickly radicalize a Republican. And it's not easy to radicalize a Republican. The party of do what you want, but leave our kids and our faith and our country the fuck alone. You know how you radicalize a Republican, or even, God forbid, a liberal, or not liberal, libertarian? You know how you radicalize those types of people? Do some shit like y'all just did last night. That's how you radicalize a Republican or a libertarian, right there. Take away somebody who's the only thing you could even say against him in any kind of good faith, with any common sense at all in your fucking head, is that he tried to sway other people to his side of the aisle, which anyone who's ever watched or met him will tell you wasn't some gimmick. He truly believed every word he was saying, and he truly believed we are in a fight for the soul of this country right now. So he believed he was doing morally, ethically, religiously what was right. That's how you radicalize people, right there. Right. Me neither. And that's what I'm saying. And that's where a lot of us are at right now. A whole lot of us. Rainy, I miss you. A whole lot of us are done being fucking nice. We're done. Because, see, crazy because liberals will try and make it seem like conservatives are the party of radicals, when in reality, we have people like Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, you know, all these people, Vivek Ramaswamy, I mean, I could go on for days, right, who use their voice to try and sway people, who go onto college campuses. I was thinking of another guy, I can't remember his name right now, who go onto college campuses or go into a public forum and try to make people see reason, truly, you know? Meanwhile, all you see from the Liberal Party is they're trying to hurt America and Americans, right? Whether it's by bringing in 15 million people that don't belong here and they're eating our cats and dogs, whether it's transing our youth, whether it's shooting up our babies, whether it's shooting a guy in the fucking neck in front of his family, right, whose only crime was using his voice. It's crazy. What world are we living in right now? Hey, Rick. Hi, darling. Hey, Theo. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Today was horrible. Candace Owens, another great example. And how much hatred do these people get for speaking? That's all they're doing, is speaking their mind. And somehow, that makes them the bad people in the situation, right? They're not the people shooting people up, but they're the ones that are wrong and radical. I'm glad, Theo. Thank you for stopping in, darling. Always good to see you. And for a long time, the Republicans, the conservatives, the libertarians, everybody, like I said, that's not far, far left, has done what they deemed is the right thing and just used our voice, stayed out of it, right? Tried to do it the right way, get laws passed, work in our local community, take things to the Supreme Court the right way. Meanwhile, these liberals, the party who doesn't believe we should be able to have guns, ironically, right, want to take guns out into crowds or into our schools and shoot their way into being victorious. So glad to see you, Randy. It absolutely blows my mind. It just blows my mind. And I've just been processing all of these emotions. I know other people are processing emotions. And like the fact that it happened the day before September 11th, right? The fact that it happened, I don't know how many of you actually watched any of the longer videos that were posted, or the clips, but he was literally debating someone when he was shot on violence, on gun violence and gang violence. It's literally what he was debating someone on when he got shot. I don't think that was an accident. DJ, good morning. So glad to see you. They're trying to stop us with fear and silence us. We are not afraid, and we will not be silent. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The liberals think that they can instill fear into us, the party that has historically, right, been the protectors. They think they're going to scare us. But like I said, what they've really done is woken a sleeping giant. Because, see, they've taken our kindness for weakness for far too long. They think, oh, well, they're not shooting us back. They're not going to shoot up our events. They're not acting every bit as diabolical as us, so they must be weak, right? But they're about to find out very quickly that that's not the case. I'm telling you, I don't know anyone that isn't radically left, that isn't incensed, enraged, incredibly upset. The amount of grown men, strong men, manly men I saw shed several tears over Charlie Kirk all over social media last night was touching and was a testament to the fact of how many hearts and lives he touched, right? Well, good morning, Kamari. How are you, dear? Good morning. Welcome in. And then I see I've been in battles all over social media. One of the first ones last night was Facebook, because of course somebody that's on my friends list, and I don't know how they've made it through all the BS of these last couple of years, but well, thank you for joining us, dear. But somehow they made it in, and they said, well, I have the screenshots. I'll have to post some of them. They said, thank you so much for all of those, you know, sending well wishes to Charlie Kirk's family and lifting him up, because, you know, thanks for making yourself known, because I've needed to clear out my friends list for a while, right? He's like, or she was like, I would never think that violence is the answer and nobody deserves to be shot, but basically, it was a really long post, senseless as hell, but basically the point was, but when you speak like you speak, how do you expect to not get shot in the fucking neck in front of your family? How can you possibly fix your fucking lips? I'm sorry, I'm trying to calm down, y'all. I'm just, you know, I'm feeling some type of way. How do you fix your face to literally say that? You're gonna have to help me understand, right? Yeah, it is heartbreaking. I cannot imagine. I can't imagine. And here these people are. So this girl was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. So I wrote, of course, a very, very long reply, basically a book. And one of my biggest points was, it's ironic, right, that, you know, like many ironies of the radical left, one of the other hypocritical, you know, points, because you guys have so many, right, is here you are always talking about things like Me Too, and always talking about don't victim blame, don't victim shame, right? That's exactly what the fuck you're doing right now. I'm not saying he deserved to die, but excuse you? No. I said, see, what you're doing right now is, I would argue, worse than the people that you hate that say shit like, oh, I'm not saying she deserved to be raped, but she did wear that skimpy dress, right? But she did have those drinks, but she did go to that party, right? You fucking hate when people blame women for being raped, but you don't seem to have them with blaming a man that just got shot in the neck in front of his family because he shared his opinion online. How dare he? In the United States of America, how dare he? Right? Fight one another, yep. Yeah, of course. And you know, that's another thing that I could be on and on and on about, is that I've seen several conspiracy theories so far talking about it was planned, some even saying it was fake. It's not as if I knew Charlie Kirk personally, okay? So I'm going out on the limb here by saying it, but I'll say it regardless. I feel as though if there's anyone in this political space and in the world, more broadly, right, that's in the public eye, I mean to say, that would never take part in some bullshit like that, it would be Charlie Kirk, right? I feel pretty comfortable stating that opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, bound to happen again. But it really blows my mind the way people will take any opportunity to put the tinfoil hat on and really just minimize real tragedy, right? Yeah, I did as well. Yeah, I've seen, like I said, uncensored, zoomed in, slowed down. They were all over TikTok. I'm sure a lot of them have been taken down already. I certainly didn't search them up planning to see that, but they were just kind of mixed in with everything else. Which is another thing, you know, like another Tesla ugly truck. Like, where are we as a nation that we are so, as a people, that we are so desensitized death right in front of our eyes, though we just post it all over social media like it's nothing, right? Where are we as a people that for days leading up to this, we saw this, I can't remember her name, somebody please help me and put it in the comments, the Ukrainian refugee that had survived a war-torn country to come here and be stabbed to death by this asshole convict. We see this, we see Charlie Kirk, like, where are we that for days straight, all over our news media and social media, we're just being spoon-fed death, death, death. Like, I just can't. And, you know, it's the point I said in one of the comments on my shorts, I said, you know, I'm worried for my children, right? When you become a parent, your priorities totally shift. And I have been raising my children to be sheepdogs, to stand up for themselves and others who they see being wrong, to stand up for what they believe is right, to use their voice and speak up for what they believe is right. And how in the hell can I continue to do that in what's supposed to be the greatest country in the world if I have to fear they could be having a conversation and be shot in the neck in front of a crowd just for speaking their mind? Like, Irina Zerska, I know I am butchering the hell out of that. Thank you, Justin, Rainey, Rick, thank you guys so much. I know I'm butchering it, but yes, that poor lady, like, I simply cannot. I simply cannot. It's just death, 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 death. And I know that that exact mindset is where they want us to be, right? They want us to be raising a generation of pussies who don't fight either with their fists or with their words back against the rhetoric and the craziness that is the left. That's exactly what they want. But I can't help but fear for my children. I mean, I feel like that's perfectly normal. Yeah, I've seen the videos. Totally unprovoked. Here she was just listening to her phone, and bam, repeatedly stabbed by someone who had been convicted, and locked up like 14 separate times as a felon, as someone who's done time, not in prison, doesn't matter, some kind of time. I gotta tell you, what the fuck was he doing out on our streets? Like, this is what blows my mind. Let me tell you an anecdote, real quick from my time being locked up, speaking of which. When I was doing my 94 days, I had done about 60, okay? Piece of big chicken, hold on. Let me pull over. I had done about 60 of them. I went to court, my last court appearance, basically to sign some paperwork, right? In my stripes, my happy ass had already done 60 days, and I was about to do 34 more, right? And I go to court with all of these other fuckers, right? Here, let me pull right here so you can see me for a second. Look at that big chicken. Look at him in all of his glory. Okay. Sorry. I hope that made some of yours day just a little brighter, seeing my big chicken. I get to see that on my way to my Nana's every day. Miri, I love you. Love you so much, Unc. So glad to see you. Yes, it's one death after another. So anywho, I did my 60 days. I was doing 34 more. And I see all these people coming and going. Okay, this is big girl court, not little girl court. Felony court, right? I could tell you several anecdotal stories about people that came in and out, drugs, trafficking, all this crazy shit, but there's one that stuck with me, right? Dwight was his first name, don't remember his last name. Blame the drugs or the baby brain one. He had been convicted previously, not once, but twice, of rape of a child under 12, right? He was now pleading guilty. Not guilty, not an Alfred plea, admitting fault, right, to to a third charge, a separate child, of rape of a child under 12, right? That motherfucker came in off the street and got to be comfortable, right? Came in the courtroom, took his plea, right? Reset him for sentencing, and that motherfucker got to walk out that day and go hug somebody he loved and eat a fucking cheeseburger, while my ass, who had just been convicted of her first and only felony ever, identity theft of all things, got to sit in a jail cell for another 34 days, right? This is a fucked up way our justice system works in America. Injustice system, some might say. Here I am, for a single felony, sitting for 94 days. Somebody who raped 3 different children gets to walk free. Why was this motherfucker out of jail? Like, it just not. I feel like we've got to be living in a simulation because nothing makes sense anymore. Like, what is happening? Well, you know, the argument might be able to be made. Hi, Mirai. Hello. Glad to have you. The argument could be made that it's a woodpecker, but I've just always called it the big chicken. Anything's possible. So yeah, that's just some of the things that have been floating around in my head lately. It's just like, what the hell is really going on around here? Like, it is. Fucked up everything. Government, justice system, just sad state of affairs that we're in. It's just, oh, whoops, you know what? I gotta get a Pepsi. Whoops. Don't mind me. Who needs that turning lane anyway? We don't need that. But it's crazy. And, I gotta tell you, raising children in this world is getting scarier and scarier every day. It was already scary. Now it's getting to be downright terrifying, And once again, I know that's what the radical left wants, right? They want us to feel scared and stop raising wonderful, strong, intelligent people that will fight them and all the craziness. But I just cannot. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to, you know what? I'm going to come back out later. That's what I'm going to do. I changed my mind because I'm wearing this crazy outfit. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. I simply cannot. I feel so badly for Charlie Kirk's family. I can't imagine what they're going through. I don't want to imagine what they're going through. As somebody who's seen someone die in front of their eyes, I can't imagine, with your children right beside you. I try to put myself in those shoes, and it's not a thought experiment I can really get all the way through. That's how bad it messes with me. Yeah, yep. That's a whole nother thing, right? It's just, who can you trust? Who can you rely on? Our world is becoming just a shell of its former self, right? And it's crazy. I am as well, Mary. I am as well. And it's ironic because this is exactly the type of thing Charlie Kirk spoke out against. Because his hypothesis, opinion, whatever you'll call it, was that since we no longer were a nation under God with morals and ethics based on our divine creator, we're getting further and further away from any real ethics or morals, right? And here we go, day after day proving him right. Because when your morals and ethics and values don't come from your divine creator, like, where do they come from? And how easily can they be bent and twisted, you know? And he was right. We're getting further away from God. We're getting further away from our fellow Americans. And, you know, if we were unified, we'd be impossible to defeat. And here we are, while the people who really run this country are running away with the money, laughing in our faces, we're ripping each other apart. It's just so sad. And so unnecessary. But I'll tell you what, call this a prediction, call this a hypothesis, label it what you like. Mark my words, liberals, if you wanted to radicalize the right, if you want to see us actually be radical, you're about to get your wish. Because we're about to start seeing conservatives fight back. That's what we're about to start seeing. Oh, gosh. Stories like that always turn my stomach. Like, ugh. Too many damn sickos in this world. And here we are, the radical left, wanting to decriminalize pedophilia and classify it as a sexuality. Of course you do, because you have no morals. You think absolutely anything is up for grabs. Anything's on the table, and that's just fine, right? I'm completely unsurprised. And it's funny, because Republicans have been saying, since before we legalized gay marriage, since before then, it's coming. Many, many conservatives have been saying that. And what did the radical left say? Oh, so you're, comparing being gay to being a pedophile. No. We're saying once you start normalizing things, any kind of thing that as a faithful nation we would not normalize, right? I'm not going to speak to the right or wrong of it. Just to say, as a faithful nation, we would not normalize. You start normalizing one thing, then comes another, right? Oh my gosh. I cannot, Rick. But that's exactly it. That's what you're about to see, is you're about to find out. You fucked around. Now you're about to find out that the right can be radical. We're going to start seeing people fight back. And that could look like many different things. I feel like this is going to incense more people to actually stand up and use their voice, which will be great. I feel like you're also going to see a lot more violence. I mean, people have already started talking about a civil war. I'm not going to bet on a civil war, but I will bet on, we're going to see a rash of violence. And I don't know that I'm going to be mad at anybody for it from the right. I'm going to tell you that right now, because for too long we've sat by while people have torn our nation apart from morals and values to, our children, our babies, our most precious. And we've taken it and tried to do things the right way, and now we're learning that's getting us nowhere. Apparently, the only thing you degenerates and you savages understand is violence. So, it's my guess. Now, I'm not promoting violence. I would never do that. I am not a violent person. But I will say, I'm not, going to be very surprised when violence starts happening. And you're not going to have anybody to blame but yourselves. That's all I'm going to say. For so long, we've heard things like Silence is violence. Words can be violence too. No, they can't. But you're about to find out what the real meaning of violence is. Because too many people have had enough. They've just had enough. And I feel we're going to start seeing a lot of people speaking the only language you radicals seem to understand. And it's a shame. Because were it up to us, we would be doing things like Charlie Kirk did, bringing people together, having conversations, and trying to sway you the right direction, like we always have. Good morning, Princess. Good to see you, darling. Hope you're doing well. But, oh, it's all coming. It's all coming. And you want to talk about somebody that's pissed off? Y'all want to talk about somebody you think you've seen act a fool on social media? Trump? I hate to see what he does after this. Y'all think you've seen him act a fool and be a troll? You ain't seen nothing yet. Because Trump loved Charlie Kirk. The only people who didn't love Charlie Kirk were the radical left. That's pretty much it. And a lot of people on the left still had a lot of respect for him. Yes, exactly that. Everybody needs to be very aware of their surroundings, you know. It's sad that so many of us have already lived that way for some time, but, you know, every single time, that's exactly right too, Strawberry. That's exactly right. And, you know, I fear every time something like this happens that it's just going to instigate more violence from the left, that it's going to inspire all the wrong people, right? That's another thing I also fear. I'm not afraid. I'm more afraid. Let me rephrase. I'm more afraid that those people who seek to be inspired by such a savage and a sicko are going to be hurt themselves. Thank you, Princess. So good to see you, darling. Because you know what they say. You fuck around, you find out. But I'm about to be headed to my Nana's. I'm gonna go spend some time with her. The whole thing is just so heartbreaking. I'm praying extra hard for Charlie's family today. I can't imagine what they're going through. And, you know, I just thought that there might be some like-minded people amongst us who also kind of needed to talk about it or process it or have an opinion on it. You know, whatever it might be. Barbie, good morning, darling. Good morning. I'm just about to get off to go hang out with Nana. We've been talking about the tragedy that happened yesterday. And some of the crazy people's crazy... Hello, Lucille. Welcome. I know. It sure is, Lucille. Welcome. Glad to have you. It's absolutely insane. Hard to believe, you know? I remember... I have actually been watching... I was sending Barbie screenshots. I've been watching almost exclusively Charlie Kirk debates for like a week now. I don't know why. I've always loved Charlie Kirk, but for some reason I've been rewatching like all of his debates, right? And swear to God, hand to God, I was watching one of his videos when I saw somebody had posted in a Discord that I'm a part of, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk, you'll be missed. And you know how people troll all the time in like YouTube chats. They'll be like, oh, R.I.P. The Rock, R.I.P. Trump. Just being trolls. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen this if you spend any time at all on social media. People do that all the time. And you do a quick Google search and of course it's not true. So I see this come across in my notifications and of course, you know, exit out, go to Google, and I'll be damned if it wasn't true. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable for a moment that it wasn't just some stupid troll once again. And, you know, It's a lot. It's a lot to process. It sure will, Barbie. It sure will. Like I said, one thing that they might not have expected is that they're going to make him a martyr. Now every word, every debate, every idea that he discussed in his many conversations is going to live on forever. They'll never be able to squash it. And I would have to guess, I just know me personally, I'm trying to think if I were to be somehow still brainwashed and on the radical left, and I were to see Trump's attempted assassination, all this other crazy stuff happening in the world, the trans shooters that have happened 4 or 5 times recently, and then I were to see this with Charlie Kirk, and then I were to go online and I were to see all these people literally celebrating this man's death, right? If I were to be a part of that party myself, I would have to say to myself, self, what the fuck is really going on? What is really happening right now, right? I would have to say to myself, self, how could I possibly, in any good conscience, continue to support a party that is killing innocent people, martyring some of the greatest voices of a generation, and then celebrating it online? How could I possibly do that, right? So I have to assume, surely, there's good people on the left. Surely, there's still a few good people on the left that have to look at this and say, okay, I think I'm done. I think this is my last straw, right? I'm hoping and I'm praying that that's going to be the case, at least. That a lot of people are going to say, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. They told me that the right was radical. They told me the right was violent. They told me the right was the party of terrible people. But the more I open my eyes, the more I see that's not true. Yes, that's exactly right. And I can't even imagine, Barbie. I mean, it's just terrible. But I just hope, if there's anything good that can come out of such a tragedy, it will be that we're able to save some of the souls on the left that we're still able to save. I'm hoping maybe this will be, a message to them, their wake-up call, if you will, to say, you know what, enough's enough. No matter if we have, or at least to stop supporting the radicals on the left, at least to say to themselves, self, I may not be a Republican, I may still be pro-abortion, I may still believe in illegal immigration, but what I'm not going to do is support a party that's shooting people in the neck for no good reason. I can't do that. That is my hope and my prayer, is that hopefully some of the souls that could be saved will see this and say to themselves, no, that's it. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. But I'm about to go and see my Nana. For those who don't know, she's on hospice. I go and I sit with her sometimes. I'm going to go over there to do her nails. I've got my extension cord and everything I need. Well, there's mixed messages right now, Justin. I believe he's still at large. Yesterday, it was a clusterfuck of have they caught him, have they not. They apprehended someone almost immediately that was interviewed and then let go. And last I heard, the suspect was still at large. But I also have not checked in on any of that today. Oh, hi, darling. I know you're right about that. Hello, my love. Perhaps so. I would like to believe there's some still worth or able of being saved, but I don't know. You could be right. You could be right. I hope you have a wonderful day at work, my love. I'm off to see the Nana, the wonderful Nana of mine. I stopped and smoked a cigarette and talked to y'all, but our journey is over. I am but a few feet away from Nana's house. Well, I'm not surprised. So I've missed all that. Oh yeah, I don't have TikTok except on the one old phone, and I only check it every now and again. It's really a weird place, and I don't love to dive down the rabbit holes. Yes, the tooth fairy showed up for my little boy. He got $3 whole. Welcome, Beach. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you guys for showing up and talking with me this morning. To the lurkers, come back. Hang out again. It's not always this depressing, but I felt that we needed to have a conversation about the craziness that's happening in our world today. But I'm off to see Nana today, and we shall see you guys again soon. Take care of yourselves and each other. Okay? Love you. Bye.